Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California, and we have another new breakdown for you today. I would just like to say that if you like this video and want to get more information about how you can run faster, like and subscribe to this video, and we'll be able to continue to give you new content and drills, exercise breakdowns for how you can become a better overall runner and improve your 40 time, 100 time, 60 time, even 400 time, whatever the case may be. We're going to help you maximize your overall performance. So we'll go ahead and hop right into this Will Fuller breakdown. The big thing that Will Fuller does a great job of is he does a great job of getting to his max speed quickly. And he does a good job of, and a great job really, of maintaining top speed, right? Because what happens is a lot of people, when they get to their top speed, they have to utilize so much inefficient movement in order to get there. It's hard for them to be able to maintain their top speed, which he does a great job of. And then obviously, being able to actually get to the top speed is something that is something that is a little bit more difficult to overall achieve. So first thing that we see here is the initial movement, right? What is the first thing that he does? Look at his hip position, drops the hips, right? He also really allows those knees, that front knee to bend to make it so now he can get more overall extension within that back leg. You got to be able to extend off that back leg in order to really pick up a good amount of ground on that first step, and also to be able to create the amount of force that you need to be able to create, because now he's able to create that first step. Look at how much downward force that he's able to generate. See that front leg, how his foot gets all the way out in front and then pushes back down so his heel can stay up, and he's not wasting very much time, and he's also maximizing his ability to generate a lot of force, a lot of energy very, very quickly. Same thing on this next step. He doesn't spend very much time with that foot on the ground, pushes off, gets that next foot down. Look how that heel's off the ground, maintaining a very good posture with his spine. He's a little bit rounded, but overall, I see a lot of guys that are almost falling forward with their head, right? He's not doing that. He's slowly raising up with his spine. He didn't pop right up with his spine, but he's still maximizing his ability to fully extend and get the full range of motion through each one of the steps. Look at how well he's getting into triple extension here, and how fast he's able to achieve that. Now we're seeing him get more and more speed here, and as he's getting higher and higher up with the spine position, now you can see him really being able to open up the stride, which means that he's allowing that front leg to be able to get all the way out in front of him and then generate force back down. He's turning that right hamstring out a little bit, or that right leg out a little bit, putting a little bit more force on the right hamstring and also right hip. But big thing that he's able to still do is be very quick with that foot down on the ground. We could look to see, he's touching at about 4.77 in terms of the timestamp, and he pushes back off at about 4.87. So he's spending about 0.1 second on the ground on each one of his steps, which is about average and really good overall. We could also look at his overall ability to maintain a very succinct arm swing, right? So his arms are going straight back. He's not wasting very much movement with how he's moving his arms straight back and through. And as he's going, look at, he's still, even at 10, 15 yards, he's still not all the way up with his spine. He's still building his spine position. And now once he gets up into here, now his spine position is really opening his ability to utilize more of his hips more, right? Because now he's getting full extension and push off the hips, but he's still getting vertical, right? You don't want to end up pushing too much horizontal. I see a lot of times with that where people are allowing their legs to get so far back behind them that now they're pushing themselves this way. But you can see how Will Fuller's doing a good job of keeping that head and hip in a fairly straight line, and when he's pushing off, he's getting full extension through here, but he's not letting that foot go too far back behind him, so then he could drive that leg right back forward and through. And now look at how his force is going to be pushing down and back like this, right? A lot of times what I end up seeing is that when the people get here, their force is interacting with the ground like that. You want to be pulling that foot back underneath you to make it so you're not going to be able to land with your foot probably right underneath your hip, but you want to be as close as you can to being able to land with your foot out in front of your hip. I'd say he could even run a better time if he didn't start losing his balance a little bit right there. See how he was getting going? He was trying to run so far ahead of himself that he almost started stumbling a little bit there, where if he was able to maintain his position of his spine, I think he'd be able to really maximize that top end speed even more, because that's one of his gifts, is that he's here and he's able to maintain this as long as he can. He's so efficient with each one of his strides that he's really able to run by people. That's what you see when you actually watch him play, is he's able to run by people so easily because he gets into this top speed and is able to maintain it. And the reason he's able to maintain it is just because of how well he's able to succinct his head and hip position with his ability to, maximize that stride length and be fast with his legs, right? The big thing that I see is that once people, the two common mistakes that mess people up from their when they get to their top end speed is, like I said, they start to lose their form, at top end speed, which obviously makes it so then they're not going to be able to hold that top end speed as effectively, right? And then the other thing that ends up happening is that the lack of strength to maintain top end speed, right? So they're just not strong enough once they get there to be able to, or power, strength or power, to be able to maintain that high level of force production and power production. And it could be legs, it could be core, it could be combination of both. But these really go into each other. So if you don't have the form, then a lot of times you don't have the strength and the power, and the strength and the power makes it so then you'll be able to maintain the form. So it's hard to for sure know what is the cause when you start to see people lose their form or start to lose their strength and power, but those ends up being the two main things that cause people to end up slowing down once they get to that top end speed. So just getting some more information of what it's going to take to be able to maximize the top end speed. At the end of the day, the fundamentals are the same. We've gone over these fundamentals a lot of times, where you got to push off, you got to keep your foot close to your body, then you got to drive your foot out in front of your knee, right? So knees here, foot's here, and then pull your foot back underneath. If you're not doing that as a sprinter, you're not going to have the timing that you need and the power production that you need in order to reach those high levels of running, 4.5 or sub 4.4, right? I mean, this is going to be a 4.33, which is amazing, but really, if you want to run sub 4.5, this is a fundamental that you have to have in order to make that happen, and really something that anybody can implement. You just got to be able to maintain that verticality, maintain that ability to hold their form, hold that strength, hold that power, while consistently increasing the leg speed. And once you start to increase the leg speed, a lot of times, again, people will lose that strength, they'll lose their form, and that becomes the reason, the downfall, the reason they're not able to get to those elite levels of sprinting, running 4.5 or sub 4.5. All right? As always, guys, let me know if you have any questions. We have programs available for you if you're interested in trying to get a little bit better from a sprint perspective, whether you're looking to improve your 40, looking to improve your 60, your 100. We have a free 7-day trial. I have all the links down below in the description. And as always, if you have any questions or any recommendations, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk soon.